Hey everybody, this is Grace, and in this video I'm going to talk about, give kind of like a hypothetical, fictional kind of story first and see what you think. But something like this has actually happened to me, something similar to it, but many years ago. Now, basically say that you're going to an interview for a job, and you have more than one job that you're in, more than one place you're interviewing. And you're not really too worried about getting this job. Okay, you have more than one option, and maybe you still have a job right now that can float you or whatever until you can find another one. So it's not. I'm trying to say it's not that much of a pressure for you to accept anything. Okay, so you go to this job interview, and when you go in, they walk you through. You have to walk through whatever section you probably would be working in, like Cubeville, and to get to the interviewer's office. So you get to see other people working there. Okay, or you get to see the people who are working there. And as you go through there, you're not really trying to focus on the other people, but you're going pretty quickly, and you don't know the place, the layout, and all that. But anyway, you go through there, and what you see at a glance is people, they don't seem very happy. The people who are working there, you don't see smiles on their faces, and just something seems a little bit off, just off. Okay, now some might think of it as that you got a weird vibe while walking through, or some just, say that you see things, you see that nobody's smiling, nobody seems happy. You can hear them on the phone or whatever, and you just feel that way. You just feel like it's whatever. But you go through the interview, and you interview with a male boss. Okay, it could be female, but male boss. And everything's fine. There's no problem with it. Now, at the end of the interview, he says that, he has other people to interview with, but he's going to go ahead and give you something to read about the company and their ways of looking at things. Their kind of rule book, a little book. And you don't think, you kind of think that's a little bit on the odd side, quite odd. You've never ever heard anybody do that before. You've never experienced it before. So yeah. Okay, I don't know about you, but I have never had a job interview where they gave you something to go home and read, and especially about rules and their own like dress code and all that stuff. But anyway, say in this story, the fictional hypothetical, that it happens to you, and you go home and you think, well, this is kind of curious, and so you start reading this, and you see it's a lot of rules, including the dress code. And basically the dress code is like as if you're going to some school where you have to wear a uniform. And that was something that you didn't see because everybody was in their cube sitting down when you were walking through. But yeah, it's that everybody has to buy a certain uniform, and they wear that. Males wear theirs, of course. Females wear whatever they choose for that, that uniform. Now, this is an office job. You're going to be sitting in a cube. You're not going to be dealing with public. But everything about the rules and all that, you start to feel like you would be going to that kind of school, back in, grade school, high school, whatever. And you're an adult. You're an adult, so the more you read, you've already determined you're not about to, work at that place if they offered it to you. You haven't even been offered the job, okay? But you've made that decision that no, because that is so strict. It's unbelievably strict. And you're not willing to go back to school, in that way. So you've already made your decision, but you're just curious. You want to see how far would they go. And it's a thick book, it's thick. So you read more, and you're just amazed. How could some employer think that they're going to basically control your whole life? I have heard in the past, I don't know if it's still this way, but like teachers at schools, they what they do in their off time, of course, reflects, you can't go and be wild or something in your off time as a school teacher, grade school teacher, and then be a grade school teacher, it reflects on you, on the school, on everything. But this is an office job. This is not something like that. It's not your way anyway, but it states in this thing that they handed out, this, I don't even think I'd call it a brochure, what do you call it, packet, that you have to behave this way and behave that way, and when you're on your own time, okay, you're not at work, it's your own time. But I have heard stuff like this. Besides the teacher, I actually had one job myself where they had a code of conduct and stuff book and dress codes, and it was crazy. It wasn't that bad, as I'm explaining, or trying to explain, but it was pretty bad. The women had to dress a certain way and the men had to dress a certain way. Well, the men that actually worked there, they got away with business casual. They were saying that it's business casual for women, but it wasn't. It was business formal. Okay, but the men, they had business casual. Women's shoes made any noise, kind of like flip-flops, but not flip-flops, like sandals sometimes make noise, that she has to go home and change them. And also, she could be fired. I actually saw someone who just started got fired because her shoes made noises. So I made a comment about it, and they were scared of me after that because I said that it was sex discrimination. And the next thing, the owner of it, like the next day or so, he come walking in with flip-flops. He walked in with flip-flops, making as much noise as possible. Back here, sort of. But if you had all that happen and would you decide that, no, I'm not going to at all work for such a place, and decide that's it, that there's no other choice, Now, here's another part of it. What if you did this and the man that interviewed you called to let you know that you got that job, and you told him, no, that's okay, I've worked, whatever you come up with, whatever you want to say, you don't have to lie, you just say no thank you. Okay. I don't know if that cut off or not, but if you did, would you be the type to tell, if he asked, well, what was the problem or something like that, would you be honest? Would you state that your rules are too strict, that, and explain it? What would you do? Would you go into detail about why you won't accept that job? I think that's a difficult one. I think we all say, oh, of course I would, but would we really? I think I would. I do. I think because to me, if nobody gets told, look, you have egg on your face kind of thing, will anything, would it change? You see? And they keep embarrassing themselves. But there's also the whole fact that, imagine the employees who are under that person's thumb. That this is, we're your children and we're the adults. That's infantilization. They're treating them like a child. Okay? Would you say something? Because as it is, that boss might not be the one who makes the rules, for one thing, that interviewer. But do they even know? Are they that clueless about what really goes out on in other places? You might be surprised, but I'm wondering. I'm not giving anybody advice. I'm not saying anybody, if you have that kind of situation, do anything about it, because these people can be dangerous. Especially somebody thinks they're all they are the authoritarian, and I always get that wrong, mixed up. Authoritative and authoritarian. Yeah, and they think that they're all right, and everybody should follow what they say. Yeah, they can be dangerous in many ways. But anyway, what would you do? Wrap this video up, but leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. How would you handle it? Any part of it. And if you want to subscribe, so I'll wrap it up. If you want to subscribe to this channel and you haven't already, click the circle icon that pops up. If you want to watch another video on this channel, you can click on the rectangles that pop up. Like, subscribe, comment, and share on your own social media if you would, and I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.